Good evening, everybody. We'll be starting in just a minute. All right. Well, good evening. We're going to do some sketch cards tonight. Hey, Bobby B. Good to see you there. Going to talk a little bit about bookworms, just briefly. That's something that the Topps artist, sketch artist, sort of wrapped up a little bit ago. Just went back last week to the factory and everything, so we shipped those back. But just thought I'd talk about them a little bit. I've got some blanks here. I haven't done any commissions yet for anybody, but it's kind of in limbo too, right? When does it come out? How do you get those to the customers? I don't know, but I thought I'd just mention a few things about them, just informationally. Um, hey, good to see you, Patrick. So tonight, also, we'll do a sketch of Juicy Jessica. I thought I'd do one of those on the '80s stock. This is the sequel to it. This is the sequel on the bottom there. Do one of those. It's a card I don't believe I've done on a live stream, but I really like doing it. I've done it every set for a while, except for this last set because it has one of the no-nos in it, blood. So we were restricted, as many fans know, not to be able to draw blood, poop, urine, anything that's a racial stereotype. And there's one more that no one talked about, was like overly violent. That was one that was also in there too, but I'm not sure how you even categorize that one. But anyway, we'll do that card tonight. Talk about a little bit what I maybe talked about last time. It's been a while since I've been on. Still been kind of a busy few weeks for me personally, but at any rate, I know probably seen these online. A lot of artists posted these. Even some of them auctioned them off and things like that for commissions. Hey, Kristen, good to have you. Good to have you on. Um, so yeah, basically you saw the back of these. Brenny Janie on there. The orange back, different. But I was going to mention, I kind of complained about the quality of these last time in the vacation set, which is also unreleased. That had the blue backgrounds, and when I draw, I rotate the cards a lot when I'm drawing. And this paper I'm on, which is a mixed media, sort of ground up and ate the background a little bit on some of my cards before I was more careful with them. Not the problem this time because I took precautions and used slicker paper, but I noticed, and Bob, you can mention this too, if you notice, like the borders here and the banner and all this, really cheap reprinted. I can erase this with a regular eraser, and typically I use a sandpaper eraser to get that off, where you can paint over it. But I personally, as an artist, wasn't very happy with the cardstock at all on these. But I mean, they did the job. I mean, they're not the worst in the world I've ever worked with, but um, they're not the best I've worked with from Topps either. So I was a little unhappy with that. And I saw some artists who actually used tape over the lines over the banner to do airbrushing or coloring or whatever they would do to protect the lines of the banner, and they actually ripped off some of the banner and the lines. And I had to redraw some of my lines. What I do is I just redraw them. If I do a minor damage, I just redraw it with a multi-liner if I need to. Depends. But I even use this low tack tape, this artist tape. It's pretty expensive. It's good stuff, but it I noticed on the first go around it would pull all this off as well. If it was used, and I used the same four strips of tape to tape these up, as you might have seen me do in other videos, to sort of airbrush. I used four pieces for all 51 of the regulars we did. We did 51 of these, and I taped around every one of them with the same pieces of tape, and reusing them seemed to lower the tackiness, and that seemed to help. But yeah, it was kind of a weird set to work on, honestly. There was a lot of confusion about contracts, and I had my own mailing problems. As I'm still, I think I mentioned last time, I had to drive about 470 miles to retrieve my cards to work on. They sent them to my old address, which I was only at uh, once to do one particular set. I was here at this address for everything else, and that was fun. So that was a 8-hour round trip drive to get them, but you know, that is what it is. So in response to that, my plan is this is the FedEx box they came in. I'm going to draw all over the FedEx box. In the next few weeks, I'm going to draw all different characters and do a sort of a mural of GPK on this side, And on this side, I'll do some. I know it doesn't quite fit in the camera, but you know, it's a FedEx box, right? It does say it's from Tops here. It has my old address. There you go. I don't live there, so but yeah, it'll have from Tops and my artist name and stuff. But my idea is to make this box into something and try to recoup some costs on the gas money. But it's not a big deal. Just unfortunate that I wasn't able to get that reshipped to this address. Anyway, we'll start a drawing on Juicy Jessica. Let's see. Again, I'm going to do it on the 80s stock. This stuff is not my favorite to draw because it doesn't erase pencil that well, but they are really nice backgrounds, so I'm going to go with that. And these will be coming soon. I still have these. I need to put them up and sort of do some commissions for them, and I have the previous set as well. I just haven't focused on getting anything out there to sell them. Bobby, have you sold any of yours? Oh, you'll buy the box. I appreciate that, Patrick. We'll see. Maybe Patrick, you can draw on the box. How about that? I'll let you draw on it too. All right. So Juicy Jessica, I don't have a picture of it up. Yeah, I'll show you just a picture. I'm going off for you don't know. Juicy Jessica is Topps book here. Is a Venus flytrap character. Sort of reminds me of Little Shop of Horrors because it's from '86. So it's still an '80s, an old original Series 3 character. Green Dean or Juicy Jessica. So, but this was a bad character because of the blood coming down. So I think probably a few people tried to sneak it in and make this saliva or something different. You know, you could try it. I saw people try to get approval and they said don't go for it. So I don't know. We'll see how strict they are on that kind of stuff and who gets rejects. But I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, same here, Bobby. I don't like people waiting either, and I just, you know, we can't really promise people when we can have those. I've also seen people selling the cards too. They've sold the cards and they've went ahead and sold commissions, and you know that's you can do that, I guess, unofficially, but you might get pulled. So anyway, start working on this one. So this is basically just a Venus flytrap kind of character, quick and easy one. The next big commission I need to work on is one for Kristen. I have been trying to get the energy to do. She's got a really big one for me to work on there. It's a secret right now. We won't talk about it, but it's a nice one that she's asked me to work on. So from the happiest place on earth, right? And I'm looking forward to working on it. Getting out of May, hopefully I'll have some more time over the summer to really focus on some artwork. I've had a really busy few months here with work, my day job. This is one I have to reshape a few times. It's a unique shape for the GPKs. It's more of a more oblong than the other ones. Has like a Stewie head, right? I am going to go to the Philly non-sport trading card show here this weekend with my son. We're going to go to that and meet a few artists and enjoy that trip. Something he wanted to do, so we're going to do it. Get to see Warhol and Zapata. Chris Meeks will be there. I haven't met Chris before. Um, he's done some final art for Tops, and he's also a sketch artist. He worked on the Bookworm set like Bobby and I did. And I can't remember Ingrid. I can't remember her last name. I'm not. I know she's a Star Wars card artist, painter, and has some published books with different artwork in them as well. So be good to meet a few new people. Oh, thanks. I don't think, thanks, Kristen. I'm not sure how it looks so far. we'll get there. It's one of my favorite characters to draw from the series. It's just easy for me to get to this one going. So I need to reshape it a little bit. It's kind of I have a reference up over here, but I'm kind of doing my own thing. I've drawn it so many times that I kind of have the way I want to do it, and it's going to turn out a little differently. This character usually is a little more round. I've got it a little stretched out here, but I'm gonna fix that in a minute. Did a lot of grabbing wrong thing. So the cards I contributed to the Bookworm set, most of mine were a mixture of color and grayscale for the character themselves. Kind of like what I do, been doing here on the stream last time, I think with the Electric Bill, was I did sort of a mixture. Um, I was really happy with the results. So I wouldn't say it's like a full gray set for me. I like doing grayscale sometimes, but it was definitely heavily influenced with some grays. Definitely with color backgrounds though. I always feel like I want to give a color background kind of situation to the collector here. I want to sort of taper that off. Okay. Aquamarine Dragon. Either can you draw the Lego Sonic or maybe draw a Thomas. Yeah, sure. Sometime. Yeah, tonight I think we have time just to do this one, but I'll be happy to do those at another time. Sure. Absolutely. I'll put those on the ideas list. That's something that really is good to just throw it in the chat because sometimes I don't really have a solid idea when I start what I'm going to do. Some nights I try to have some rough plans in my head. I do like those characters. The Sonic character I've not drawn. I want to do that one. You had to take a different approach. Yeah, I think a lot of people took a different approach with their cards this time. We had to save time. Um, Unfortunately, some of us did, some of us didn't. It just depends on what your day job is, right? People have a day job. It's just really those are factors. So let me see here. Yeah. Yeah, Bobby, like you mentioned there in the chat, the delays have really messed us all up on commissions and timing and everything. I don't even know what to say about those anymore. I don't really get why we can produce, well, we can't produce cards right now. Still here to materials and labor and other things, but you know, we're just not in the know on that. And I will say that the online sets we're producing right now, you know, those are printed differently. They're on demand printed and they're printed from a different facility, in a more limited on demand print. So that's a total different beast right there. So I don't think people are mad about those. It's just they're giving you something, at least right now, if you're into the online sets. Or I think the 90s expansion sets were out for about 6 weeks, and then there was a special like beer themed one that came out recently. That's really niche. I don't really get that one as much, but okay, you know, whatever. For somebody, right? Remember that GPK is a niche thing anyway, so. But I think it's everything with tops. I think everything with tops is Star Wars is having trouble printing, and sports sports cards as well. So everything's having a little bit of trouble. I haven't watched that one as close as much as the others, but this is more of a part of his arm too. Take a few liberties with this one. Let's see what's out here. I didn't notice they were miscut, so the last set they produced was really miscut. Okay. Yeah, I think that there's the delays are probably related to a lot of there's some corporate restructuring going on. I'm sure. Um, a lot of people watching things, evaluating previous decisions, and dabbling in areas they may not know a lot about. So we're trying to at least learn the business a little bit. I thought Fantix, just as a guess, they would probably let Tops run their business, but they've also got to take a look at it too. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you everyone who came out tonight to support me this stream. Especially the regulars out there. A lot of times they can kind of get the will up to do a live stream if someone asks about it. So I appreciate everyone giving me a little push occasionally. And it's not just one person, it's multiple. So I really do appreciate that. So like that. Yeah, I don't know about the 90s sets. I'm going to say this, it might be controversial, but I always wonder if some of the 90s, not all of them, but some like these horror set expansion sets, I wonder if they're just rejects that or concepts that didn't make it out, or didn't have enough, or there was too many concepts for the original set. I don't think anybody asked for a 90s expansion, but I don't think anybody's, there's been some good cards in there for sure. There's been some good artwork. Um, so it's good to see people who are happy with that, so get a little more content. But I don't know. Probably some of this and some of that, right? Probably there's some new stuff, and then there's some that's been not rejects, but maybe just overflow. I think a lot of times there's those cards that don't make it at first that make it in other sets. There's only so many slots, but it's good to see it. All right, kind of getting close to needing to ink this. Let's see. Say, Bobby, I saw some of your stuff out there recently. You did some really nice cards. You did like a sort of sculpture inside of a slabbed card. That was pretty neat. I don't remember the character. I'm sorry, but it was really cool. Like he took a plastic slab and put the character in there. There's a drawing of him with a character inside the card. Like the card. People get cards slabbed all the time and graded, and kind of made a spoof of that where the character's inside the card slab, and that was pretty cool. Really innovative, man. And hoping that in June I have some guest artists coming on here with me, or I have another camera set up over there. I can have some people come in. I won't share who they are just yet, but some guest artists coming in to draw some GPK related stuff, or maybe Star Wars stuff. That's coming soon too. I thought about doing some Star Wars very soon. I haven't worked on a Star Wars set in a while, but I'm thinking about trying out to do that again. I haven't expressed any interest with Tops in a while to do it. I think the last time I worked on one was like 2019. But as long as the deadlines aren't horrible, I don't mind doing it. But sometimes they have pretty tight deadlines for pretty high quality art. So those guys are really, really good artists over there too on the Star Wars stuff. All right, let's do a few more of the leaves here. He's actually got a lot of leaves. I'm pretty content though with the wackies and the GPK these at this time. I mean, I could be happy enough with that for a while. Yeah, Patrick, I'll intro too. Bobby B has a YouTube channel. Bobby B, you can go check him out. He's got tons of drawing videos and his artwork's up there. Um, I'll let him answer about the page. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's got a page. I can't recall. All right. So let's ink that and start making some final decisions here. Old pencil rough is ready there. So the Philly show is about 7 hour drive for me. So that's going to be a little bit of a haul for me. Maybe a little bit more depending on where I go 100%. Like how long it takes me, how many stops I do and things. But it's worth it though. A lot of neat people to meet up there. Plus, I took my son last year and he really enjoyed it. He's 9, so he's really into that kind of thing right now. He recently did a drawing himself for sort of our church bulletin, so I'm proud of him there. He did a good job. He doesn't draw enough though. He needs to draw more, and I don't draw enough either. I need to draw more. I know some artists who draw more than I do, really committed to just drawing every day, and I think that's awesome if you can do anything that you need to do artistically, singing every day or playing the piano or drawing or painting, whatever. It's great to get in there and spend the time at it, prove your craft. You know, especially if it's therapeutic to you, you enjoy it and it can let you decompress your day. It's good to get to that level. It's not always like that for some of this commercial stuff we've been talking about tonight, but sometimes it is. We got one of these going the wrong way, but I'm not too worried. Just sort of cut it over here. Seal some of that in the gap too. Yeah, you should do more of the PSA slot style characters. That's pretty neat. You got some nice sculpting abilities, and it's a pretty cool piece of art. I'd done all kinds of plans for stuff like that. Not for sculpting, but I had trying to find them. Can't find them now. But oh yeah, there. Here we go. Show you. I going to do a spoof. Last year, the GPK Collectors Club sent the collectors in the Collectors Club. They sent out binders and cards, a few things, but they also sent out flower pots, like miniature flower pots, as a collectible. And I had these as a joke. I was going to actually just do some painted characters on these flower pots as a joke in one of these live streams. I still might do that, but it's a little bit dated now. So, but I was gonna. I've had these sitting around for a while. I was actually gonna draw on these because I don't know why they sent them flower pots except for this character. See, like flower pot for this character, and we're gonna give seeds in the next one. There's also some jokes about being weed related. I don't know, but it's not really something that a corporation would, would endorse. But I think it was supposed to be related to like this character being in the pot kind of thing. That's just my guess, but just totally a guess on that one. But yeah, I was gonna do a few of these and do some acrylic paint on the sides, but I don't know. It's just like a really weird thing to sell at a collector's kit. That the people paid like $200 to be part of this set, and they got part of this club, and they got, I think, 4 drops of like a loot box essentially, and that was one of them. I can't recall what all of them were. I mean, they were whatever they were, you know, some limited edition stuff. So, but I had kind of a sand on it. So the big question is really, will the new set we just worked on come out in July like it's supposed to? And I think the answer is no. The consensus should be no. I can't imagine it would. We're still waiting on last year's set, and we're still waiting on a Chrome 4 release, which is a reprint, a nice pretty reprint of original Series 4, but it's nowhere to be found. So I can't imagine. I don't know what they're gonna do. I hope they don't drop a whole ton of stuff on collectors all at once. That won't be good either. No idea. Oh yeah, and there's also supposed to be that a retail wacky packages set supposed to be out this year. I don't know if that'll even happen. That may be even, who knows if it's canceled or not. And I have heard nothing. I don't know anything, but I mean, you can do the math on that one. It's slated to be a 2022 set. Maybe it'll be pushed back to 2023. All right. Who's Jessica supposed to be eating? Well, that's unknown to me. I don't really know. I've never really looked at to see if there's really someone it's supposed to be. It's really just an arm with some stripes, white and blue stripes on the hand here, on the arm, and here's a skeleton down here. I don't know. I Be good to know. I can't think of any character that looks like that with that pattern of on their shirt, so I'm not sure it's ever been stated who that's supposed to be. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's a follow-up card either. I think there are, I mean, there are some follow-up cards, Juicy Jessica. Like ones where maybe she's getting watered or something with that hose sprayed down. I don't know. And there might be another one as well. I just can't recall. Like some follow-ups in later sets in the 2000s. It's real popular to revisit these classic characters and do things with them. So fix that eye in a minute. All right. Good question. But I always think of Little Shop of Horrors when I see it. It's just what I think of. So I think that was the idea. They have made a Little Shop of Horrors card since then. Yeah, I don't think the blood thing will affect. I don't think it will. I don't think its artwork's already been produced. New blood work and new blood work, new artwork, which there will be some, I'm sure, for that series, along with the reprints. I don't think it'll be affected. They seem to get away with that. I mean, they get away with, basically little dolls smoking and drinking too for the set we just worked on. So if you can do that, I don't see why you would be affected by the artwork. I think it's new artwork moving forward. I hope, right? Hmm. I'm going to start with a yellow green 6, which is a yellowish green. Literally. Oh, sorry. Yellowish green. I like to kind of start there with my green and just blend away around from that. But I make my light come through here and kind of down here too. Some two light sources sort of. Because these leaves are underneath them, so I kind of do that. Yeah, that's a good point. They're going to do the beer ones that you would think they wouldn't really mind too much with the other stuff. It's just really funny that, you know, a couple sets back, just in the 35th anniversary set, they actually gave us like poop-shaped sketch cards to work with, and now they don't even want you to do this. It's not a big problem for me, but I mean, I don't draw a whole lot of characters that have a lot of that in it. So, but I did notice it did affect the choices I made for this last set when I was starting to draw things like this character, for example. I skipped um, just to stay clear of it. I mean, it probably could have got through if you changed the blood a little bit, but yeah, it does sort of change the core design of what GPK is. So that's the biggest concern. You know, it's getting too let me see, pay attention here. Too PC or whatever you want to call it. It's just, you know, it's a parody series, so I don't know anybody who finds Garbage Pail Kids offensive, but might be gross or disgusting. I'll give you that sometimes. Some of them are, for sure. Fix that line later. Yeah, that's right. A lot of food fight characters were. It was a good set. I don't know. The one that gets me is the over the violence one. Like if and that one wasn't one that was really touted heavily in the requirements, but you know what's considered violent there. I mean, some of them could be different levels of violence to different people. You know, it's how you take it. Go a little darker here. So I'm using a lettuce green. This is a yellow green '09, kind of a darker shade. I'm going to blend this one in just a minute when I go back to this. Taking my time building up from light to dark here. I'm not really going super fast. Could probably work a little faster, but not in a big rush. This one comes together pretty fast once you get the greens done. There's not a whole lot to do beyond that, so. Put a little liner around the eyes. Okay. And I'll go with something a little bit lighter here. Let's see. The green 11, let's just check that. I don't like that. It seems kind of dryish. It's all right. Find something a little bit lighter. Super lighter. Might be too light. This is just a yellow green from Minnesota yellow. Just want to blend out slightly. Might not be enough for what I want though. I want to soften that edge, but let's go with something a little darker. I could go back to the 6 and try that. Let's see, I have a 5. What's the 5? Here it is. The 5 is just salad, which is very close to the 6. It's yellow green 5. Yeah, Grizzly is considered racist. I guess anything that's Asian and that's doing like karate or something is a stereotype now. So I don't know how I feel about that. That seems to be, it discriminates the other way too. So like uh, I don't know. Like it starts to get kind of messy when you start getting sensitive to those kind of things. Um, I wouldn't say GPK has ever had like super racist stuff in them. It's had some stereotype stuff in it, but you can make your own judgment about stereotypes, I guess. I think they're just being very cautious in a time in this country where it's everyone's so sensitive about offending somebody else, accidentally offending, not even like intentionally offending, but you know, I think we could probably find cards in there that are still approved that someone could find offensive based on race or something. I don't know. Um, don't really think about that when I'm drawing a funny parody card, but you know, kids dolls. But GPK has been very inclusive through its whole history, really. You look at the older cards and you thumb through them, you'll see all races represented and all different just kids doing things, and having, the funniest ones to me are the tragic ones where they're getting, it's not really kids though. It's the Garbage Pail Dolls or the Cabbage Patch Dolls, right? It's not really they're not really children. They're toys. That's the thing. They're not real. But yeah, I mean, like any corporation these days, Tops is a little sensitive to what they put out. That comes and goes. I'd say I don't know anybody who's an artist there who wants to offend anybody, but we just want to make you laugh. It's something like, I wouldn't say they're even overtly political statements in these cartoons at all. adding a touch of this on there in person, it gives it like a little bit of yellow hue to them. So I might come in here with some pencil on that too. The stream's holding up pretty good tonight. I think the signal is good. I'm using a different hotspot tonight, so a backup one. I need to save the data on the other one. I have two. I need Elon to get me my Starlink's internet. I'm signed up to get a satellite internet dish from Elon, so Starlink. Looking forward to that when it comes. Please. Let's darken the teeth up a little bit. Well, let's just hope they loosen up the regulations on some of the drawing requirements. I think that's the hope of several of the artists who are closer to it. So that's my hope. I'm gonna take that line out there. Open this up a little bit. Especially the blood one. I mean, I don't need a lot of blood in something, but like this is reasonable. I mean, I think the idea was, I think the different ideas. I just didn't want a ton of gratuitous sort of things up there. And there might be one or two from the set that's rougher than others, right? What's the difference between where you're from and Philly? Um, there's not really there's not a time difference. I'm in the same time zone, but to get up there, it's about 7 hours straight drive up there. So I'm in the middle of the center of North Carolina, and then Philly's pretty much straight up from me over to the side. So gotta go through a few cities. I can go sort of a non-urban route too if I want to stay away from the cities. But it shouldn't be bad. I've done it a few times and not a bad drive really. I'm going to be staying about just a few miles away from the event, so I'm happy to be there. So, and they'll also be going to. There's the cool part. There's a dinner after on the Saturday night, the first day of it. There's a dinner you can go, and that'll be a kind of a cool giveaway, and some artists will talk. Or there'll be stories or things. I think Sidekick Printing is one of the vendors coming, and they print. They're pretty neat. They're out of Vermont. They print these old school uh, sets out, small runs, but they do wax packs and they do like traditional old style prints of cards sometimes. And there've been a few series that have been licensed to them, like the Universal Monster GPK set was done with them, along with Melty Misfits through the pop artist Buff Monster. He did those with him, and several others. He's done several others, but I know the owner of that place. It's pretty neat. So they're going to do a sidekick themed dinner there. I don't know what that means exactly, but I'm interested into it. But usually it's pretty neat to sit around a table and they'll be collectors and fans. You can kind of talk to them and stuff. Pretty neat. Um, Looking forward to it. It's my son seeing it. He hasn't been to the dinner. They didn't have the dinner last year. They didn't have it because of COVID protocols. But look forward to it this year. Oh, good grief! Yeah, COVID protocols last year. We had to get into that show. That's the only thing I went to. I didn't go out a lot. I didn't have a lot of places I had to go last year, but that was the only time I had to actually have a vaccination card actually to do anything. Um, they're not requiring that this year. I think that since COVID has died down significantly, that's not a requirement. Now you've got to understand. I'll say this: that a lot of the folks who go to the vendors, they're up in age. They've been vendors and worked in the industry for some capacity for a long time. So I understand they were concerned about their health. I get it, especially in a open vendor scenario like that. So, but I think that whole thing has run its course. Thank goodness. I mean, there might be some hypochondriacs. I don't know. Might be a few. Blend that out a little bit more. I'm sure YouTube flagged me on that. I talked about COVID. A little bit. A little COVID talk. Not a lot. It's a rough situation. We've been through a lot as a country. The whole world has. So. Okay, the rest of that I think I might do with, if I do any more, I'll do with some pencil on that, but I think we can let that go here. Oh, put the cat blood here. All right, let's do some blood. Do the blood stuff, all right? Use a couple shades of that. R24 maybe, R46 is richer. I'm gonna hold this in reserve, this 56. How are we doing on time? We've been here about an hour almost, so not too bad. This might be my marker that's dying here. Haven't checked on my marker since I worked on the last set, so there might be a few in there that are a little weak. Now I'm going to leave that edge right there so I don't have to come back and put white paint or white ink on it. Be smart this time. I usually just color the whole thing and come back and deal with it. But, use an R14. Switch it. I'll leave it for now. You asked who this is supposed to be in here. You should draw a character, draw a GPK character who this was before and after. Should make up somebody. I think you can think of somebody recently, right? And say he was a trespasser, and this was the guard foliage. I always think about it was. I always think like maybe it's Rick Moranis, right? Little Shop of Horrors. That's who it is. Of course, he doesn't die, right? I don't think he dies in it. I haven't seen that in so long. I can't remember a lot about it. Pretty sure he doesn't. Seymour, right? All right. Yeah, this is gonna be blood here. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Taups can't stop me on this one. So not on their stock. So, and that's the funny thing is, we can, as Topps official artists, we can draw one-off drawings. We can do artwork for fans, and it can be, you can have the blood in it. There's no restriction on that. It's just on the official card stock for these newer sets we can't. So, we can still do custom pieces and things, and no one's gonna cry about that. But because this is a classic character. I mean, this is This one was done in '86 by John Pound, so I mean it's one of the classics. So I'm gonna go a little darker with this 56 as current. It's called almost like almost a maroon, dark purpley kind of color, just to build a little more richness of that red. I'll have to come back on that. Okay. I'll go over that with some white pen in a minute just to polish up those lines. Fix something here with the eyes. Color that in. We're gonna airbrush this one too. Just a minute. Let's see. Let's do a couple things. Some finishing touches here. It's my 8. My gel pen. This is a 8. Yes. Sometimes I dot these eyes, get a little shine with a gel pen. Sometimes I use actual paint. Just depends. A lot of times I use gel pens. It's just faster. Especially just for a quick illustration like this. Don't have to do a lot here because I did a lot of the work by not coloring in all that. So it's the smarter way to do it. And again, I don't always do it that way. I'm usually hard-headed and come back and have to do it. So no room to brag there. Okay, come back and fix that. So I appreciate the suggestions earlier on for the Sonic character and for the Thomas the Train Engine one. I'm aware of those too. We'll do those next time. Great ideas. Those are characters I haven't done before. I've thought about doing the Thomas one a couple times. There. Let's see about green. It's a little different. Going over using my Urban Artist Soho color pencils again. Permanent green deep. Let's see how that's kind of what I want. Something darker. My son recently kidnapped all my pencils and took them downstairs, so I had to kind of see what I had left up here. I think most of them are back, but he still took some. Told him he could come up here and use my stuff, but he extended loan borrowed it, so that's all right. He's got his own pencils, folks. That's the funny part. Is he has all his own stuff, but yeah, it's good. At least he didn't bend up my Copic markers again. That was good. When he was younger, he grabbed them and put them through a torture test. So. Add back in some of this shading I took out when I blended. I just want to refine a little bit. I just think layering colored pencil in there with marker just adds a nice little punch to it. A lot of people do that. Bobby does that. He uses a lot of pencils in his work too. So I think they add a lot to them. Yeah, thanks, Patrick. Appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, you did you did a detailed one for Thomas the Train. Yeah, it's a good one to do it in. That would have been the set to do it. I don't know if there's anything in there that would ban it now. I don't think so. And again, thanks for everybody who tuned in tonight to check this out. I know it's later. I like to start these earlier, but I just had a night where I was trying to plan for things, and try to do them earlier. Yeah, it's a shame with the vacation set. All that artwork we did hasn't come out yet. It kind of bothers me. Like I think about I did that card already, and it bothered me with this set. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I realized I already did it. I didn't do it. So yeah, let's do the cheeks. So every GPK character is supposed to have some cheeks on them. That's way too. I'll see how it works. I'm gonna go for it. See how we can. I'll blend it out if I don't like it. I'll just blend it down. So where's your cheeks here? Just soften the edge just slightly. We can always put the white dot back in the center there with a pen, not a problem. Soften the edge. Yeah, I'm hoping to have, again, like I said before, some guest artists on in June. I have two people I've been talking to. Coming here with me. Be kind of cool. Bobby, you're always welcome too. You're probably a busy guy too, like everybody. You should check out Bobby B's channel. It's Bobby B's. He's got some great GPK related videos. I know a lot of you probably already know that. Good stuff. Blend that down a little bit. That'll dry better, but we blend that skin tone out a little bit. All right. And let's see here. I have a hard line. I'm going to use this a little bit. That's right. That's not wrong. Not right one. Hard nose brush tip pen here. Let's use this. So do some more lining here. Do some final lining. Let's see if I can do something with this tooth here a little bit. Typically, you put a little more gums on the character, but I didn't this time. Let's see if we can just add a little white right there. That might be good enough. We'll come back there in a minute. Put some more on. I'll come back to that in a minute. That could work there. Yeah, absolutely. I'll say right now is a good time for the sketch artists and stuff to do extra artwork and stuff, produce a lot of content because there's just not a lot out there for the fans. I think it's a good time to step up and do extra things like Bobby's been doing with his work. Well, there's a need for it for those collectors. I mean, there's just nothing out. Smooth my line weight out a little bit here and there. All right. I think I can let that go with the lines there, just about. Click right through there. Can live with that. All right, let's spray this and call it a night. So, all right, I just want to sort of mask part of this. I don't have to mask the whole thing. Yeah, you're right. There's going to be some huge feeding frenzy with these sets. You're right, Bobby. I hope we didn't lose too many people to other things, though. I hope we didn't. You know, people don't collect one thing; they collect something else. And, you know, there'll be a certain amount of people we don't have back for a while. But that's just the nature of collectibles in general, I guess. But yeah, it's really frustrating though that we can't, you know, sell a good amount of the cards we have officially. I haven't sold any of my blanks from or done any commissions actually. I've offered them and told them the warning that was about last year about the vacation set, and I ended up selling. I had some food fight blanks still left. Still have some from previous sets, not a lot, but just a little bit. All right, the background for this one is normally orange. I mean yellow. I might go with a more orangey yellow so it shows up a little better, like this. It's Y38, which is honey. So let's try that. We'll start there and go from there. And we'll get out of here. Now, this is an older marker, so it may not spray very well. I'll try it. It's going to spray very well, actually. It's kind of faint. I'm going to use it to my advantage right here in the leaves. So. Get the corners really nicely so it pops a little better. Yeah. Darker on the edges and come in with your lighter. So terrible. I want to do something different because this marker is not really working for me. Funny thing is, when you spray them, sometimes if you, that's really nasty there. I don't know what's going on with that. That's a Y17 that you can replace, I guess. There's a 19, I think it's new. Yeah, the 19 is pretty close as far as when it sprays. Let's see. Yeah, you see it's gonna close. I'm going to go one darker, just want to get a little more pop on the edge, more than I normally would have with this character, but I want to go something kind of almost brownish. This is a Tuscan orange, which is yellow red 27. Yep. Let's see how this looks. I think that's not bad. It's almost a brownish color, really. It's a burnt orange. Some controlled fires right in there. A little overspray in there. Good. think we can just about call it with that. Let's see. I want to put this right here. All right, I'm gonna peel that away and see what we got. It's not bad. It's not bad. I think we'll call it for that tonight, folks. Looks pretty good. Not a bad card. Sun on the back. All right. Well, everyone, I thank you for tuning into the stream tonight. Appreciate your support. Checking out my art. Again, you can, those you find me on Instagram, I'll be posting more art up there, as well as here on the channel. I've got some videos coming up from some sketch cards I've done in the past that are time-lapsed, such as some music, kind of like I've done before in the past. Got some more of those coming out. It's just slow churn on those. But anyway, I'll have some stuff back next week, hopefully from the Philly card show, probably on a Tuesday. Next week, I have some late work to do for my other job on next Monday, but I'll be back on Tuesday next week. So look for that to be scheduled. And thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful week. And thank you, everyone, for being around. Thanks, Bobby, Patrick, Kristen, and everybody else out there who tuned in. Have a great one. Thanks.